Venom should not join the MCU. Let me explain. Hey guys, Blazie here. I just want to start off with saying, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. I generally think a lot of those films are just kind of meh. My favourite franchise was the Guardians of the Galaxy. Absolutely love Guardians of the Galaxy. But what happened when they officially joined up with Marvel? What happened when they officially joined up with the Avengers and everything? They got absolutely fucked over. They got absolutely screwed over by the writers. James Gunn was doing a magnificent job showing the Guardians in the first two movies, and then once the Avenger writers get a hold of it, what happened? They killed off Gamora and made Peter Quill one of the most hated characters in the MCU. Great job there, great job screwing over one of the best franchises you had that a lot of people generally enjoy it. I generally enjoy it. I don't like Marvel stuff. But there's so many people who are the same as me, who don't generally like Marvel, but they enjoyed the Guardians. And then they screwed over the Guardians. It's like they're pissed off that so many people like that franchise and not the rest of the Marvel stuff. And so, that to me is we're not gonna get another Guardians movie for another 2 years. Because they have to fit it all into their timeline. They could have just gone back off into space. You could have resurrected them and everything and just made them go off back into space. And that's it. And then move on and we get a whole Guardians franchise. But no, they have to always fit into this stupid timeline. It's like I love Spider-Man. Absolutely love Spider-Man. But that first movie, I don't care for. That first movie, not the Tobey Maguire stuff. I freaking love the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Besides the third one. Third one's crap. I love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Didn't care for Andrew Garfield. I like Tom Holland. As Spider-Man. The problem is, that first movie had a lot of Iron Man in it. And so that kind of just ruined the Spider-Man movie, because it's not a Spider-Man movie then. Then it's just another Avengers Marvel movie. It's not a Spider-Man movie. And basically, I'm sorry, I'm gonna rant off a little bit. I have no script, and I'm really bad because my brain goes in multiple different directions. But, alright, so, yeah, I love Spider-Man. Right? I grew up with the 90s cartoon, I believe 90. I think it was like 94, 93 or something. Maybe. I don't know. I love that series. Absolutely love Spider-Man. Him and Superman are my two favorite superheroes of all time, and that would never change. And so, yeah, I know Venom. I know Carnage. But I didn't realize there was more than that until I watched the first Venom movie, which I loved. I loved the first Venom movie. And it had Wyatt in it, I believe his name was. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a whole bunch of symbiotes in it. And so that really, really intrigued me. Okay, there's a whole bunch of them. That's interesting. So, now, I know there was two problems people had with the Venom movie. Was, where's the gore? Which all I say to that is, it's based off a comic book character made for kids. People forget that the comic books, at least back then, even when Venom first came out, they're made for kids, guys. They're made for kids. And maybe they were gory, maybe, he does eat people. And I would like to see some Venom more, not gonna lie. they're kids movies in a way, they're kind of meant for kids or just those who grew up with that kind of stuff. So they're still not gonna make them all gore. I don't want that at all. Honestly, when a movie is R-rated just for the sake of having R rating, that's when films become kind of crap to me. When adult films are just adult for the sake of it being adult, and so they just swear all the time. It's a lot of sex and all that kind of stuff. I don't like those movies. I really don't. And that's what it would have turned into, probably. I mean, if it was sex with Venom and Eddie, yeah. That's the only reason why I would want it to be R. But shut up. So, alright, yeah. And then the second issue was there's no Spider-Man. He's not Venom without Spider-Man. He needs the spider symbol on him and everything. I mean, okay. I mean, I feel like a live-action Venom swinging around, web slinging, would be a little weird. I don't know why, but I feel like that would just be a little bit weird. Not to mention, I never really understood how he could web sling when he has to use a when a lot of Spider-Mans use a device. They made it, you know. So how can I don't understand how then Venom would be able to web sling, because it's not something that Spider-Man can do. Only Tobey Maguire. It would make sense with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, which is why, honestly, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is my favourite, because he's actually a spider, not just any other insect. He's actually a spider that can shoot webs. You know, that's what makes him Spider-Man to me. I don't know. It would be a little bit weird to me. To see the live action Venom just swinging around. But yeah, okay, sorry. I knew I would rant off, I apologize. And so yeah, that didn't bother me, because I generally enjoyed the film. I generally enjoyed Venom. And my biggest worry would be the second film would be them showing off Spider-Man, and then him officially joining up with the MCU. But God, like I said with the Guardians, it would ruin Venom, because then they wouldn't make Venom movies anymore. It would be Spider-Man and Venom, or it would be Thor and Venom, you know? It's like apparently the next Thor movie will have the Guardians in it at some point. They're like the Asgardians of the Galaxy or whatever, or something like that. I don't know. They will apparently appear in that movie, which again, then it's not a Guardians movie. It's not a Thor movie then. What movie is it? It's just another Marvel product to sell merch and blah blah. Let's be real. Alright, but yes, that's my problem. It would not be a Venom movie, because I absolutely enjoyed it. But in this next Venom movie, we're getting Carnage, we're getting Shriek, I think they're called. Something like that. Shriek or something. Maybe I could be completely wrong by that. It's like, okay, we're getting more symbiotes. Awesome. And finally we're getting Carnage. Yes. And it'll be nothing but Carnage. It won't be just, like, in a sense, it'll be just Venom and Carnage. But it won't be Spider-Man in there trying to do things. It'll just focus on Spider-Man and then occasionally have Venom and Carnage in it. No, it focuses only on Venom and Carnage. And that's awesome. Yes. So what I want is just a Venomverse. Just give me Venom stuff. Just give me the symbiotes. Because that sounds really cool. That sounds really interesting. That sounds like something I want to watch. I don't want to see Venom joining up with all these other characters and being that anti-hero kind of thing, because it just won't make sense at all to his character in this live-action version. To me, it just doesn't make sense. Like, alright, look at it already. Like Venom already loves Eddie. Let's be real. Venom already loves Eddie. He thinks he's the perfect host and everything. So this whole idea of them bringing in Spider-Man, because then basically he becomes really interested in Spider-Man with like his powers, and just he generally thinks Spider-Man is like the perfect host for him, or like one of the perfect hosts anyway, besides Eddie. And so that's like one of the big things there. And I just don't see this Venom doing that. I really don't, because he already considers Eddie like the perfect sort of host and everything. And I don't see Venom being just pure evil or whatever. Like, that was one of the big things. When he joins up with Spider-Man, you know, he becomes like the black suit, he becomes evil, he becomes angry and all that kind of stuff. But that's not what's happened to Eddie Brock in this series. He doesn't become this whole new person. He's still the same. And then when he changes to Venom, it's basically Venom's in control. While with Spider-Man, it's more so, it's still Peter. He just becomes a little bit more angry, a little bit more emo. And I just don't see that happening. Like, that's what people want. That's the storyline people want. That's not gonna happen. If it does, it just won't make any sense at all. I just don't see that happening. I can see them, like, teaming up, you know? Teaming up in some way where Eddie gets messed up, maybe put in a coma or something, and so then Venom leaves him to go to Spider-Man to be like, oh, I need your help to go help Eddie. I would be okay with that if they did something like that. And so then, you know, he becomes, then he gets the black suit and becomes more, yeah, Venom. Like, okay, interesting. But yeah, his mood never changes. He's still the same. It's then Venom who's just like, oh my god, this is so cool. The web slinging and all that is so cool. I love it. And they blah 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 do a mission. They come back, heal Eddie, and Venom goes back into Eddie and all that. And basically from that he gets spider powers or whatever, and that's it. If you get to, that's what I would like to see, something like that. If you gotta have Venom in there, you gotta have him care about Eddie, because that's how you're showing it. I don't see Spider-Man being this angry, moody character with Venom going in there, and that's what people want, and people are stupid because they don't see that that's not what they're doing with Venom already. Eddie is not changing personalities, he's the exact same person. And so I like that, I absolutely like that. It's just that then he's bonded with his other character and kind of forced into these situations where, like, he has no choice but to just let him eat people. But if he's gonna do that, then yeah, he's gonna let him eat villains. So, you know, it's not the worst thing, I guess. That's what I like. I like that. It's fun. They're fun movies, right? They're very fun movies, and I just want a Venomverse. That's all. In short, I want a Venomverse. With all the different symbiotes and everything. I don't want Spider-Man in there because it's just gonna ruin it. We're not gonna get any more Venom movies. We're just gonna get Venom and Spider-Man and Thor and all that. And I don't... Venom would not fit into the universe at all. Not to mention, again, like the Guardians movie. Like, the second one came out so many years ago. So many years ago. And we haven't gotten any new Guardians movie for years. And we still won't for another couple years. Because they joined up with Marvel and it ruined the franchise. Like, for me, like, I can't wait until the Guardians of the Galaxy game comes out. That looks really good. That looks like one of the movies. It's like, yes. That's awesome because they're not trying to add all the other Avengers into it. Because look what happened to the Avengers game when they added all the other characters into it. It didn't work out, did it? But yeah, the Guardians game looks a lot of fun. And yeah, just give us a Guardians verse. That's all. Give us a Spideyverse. Give us all that kind of stuff. Trying to add them all in is very cool, but it should have ended with Endgame, right? It should have all ended with Endgame. Now make those universes separate. And it will be they will be much better films. They'll be much more enjoyable. I would watch them happily if they were all separated films. But no. By not making them separated, they make more money because you're forced to watch these other films. It's all marketing, isn't it? You're forced into watching Black Panther because you want to know how this all fits into the timeline. Like, there's so many people that watched the Venom movie wondering, okay, where does this fit into the timeline? But it doesn't, because it's its own film. And it just... Marvel has really screwed over just everything Marvel. Because you can't make a Marvel movie without it fitting into the timeline. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't. I don't want to watch all these movies, but I need to if I want to keep up with things, and it's just so convoluted. It's so all over the place, a mess. I don't want it. I want just a Venomverse, just Venom characters, just the symbiotes. It'll be much better films, be much more better storyline and everything, much more simple, simplistic, you know, and not get convoluted. As I said, 4 or whatever, like 4 could appear in it, and you know, it's the whole argument. Sorry, it's the whole argument of like, with a lot of the Marvel movies, where's 4? Where's 4? He's strong. He could deal with this guy. But yeah, 4's... Oh no, 4's off doing his own thing. Is he though? Prove it. Oh, but he's not in this film. Well, that's just really bad writing, isn't it then? That he's just, mysteriously not there. When he could easily deal with this very bad villain. So then, yeah, when it comes to like the Venom stuff, once Venom joins in, then it's like, oh, where's 4 to deal with it? And I don't want to say that, because there is no 4. There's just Venom. I don't want Venom to join the MCU. I really, really don't. What do you guys think about that down below? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you want him to join the MCU or not? I have heard recently, there was like a news article or whatever that came out, that they said, like, I'm really happy to hear this. I'm also a little like, but at the same time, alright, so news article came out from the directors or the writers or the people who work on Venom, and they said that like one day, Tom Holland might appear, but that won't be for a good couple years. We want to tell our own stories. We want to tell the story of the symbiotes and all that. And it's like, yes, thank you. Make a bunch of films on the symbiotes, and apparently it sounds like that's what they want to do. They want to keep it as this Venomverse. They want to just have it as Venom and tell the story of Venom. It doesn't sound like they want to like include Spider-Man, not just yet. And I hope we don't get Spider-Man shit. I don't want Spider-Man. I really, really don't. But it does sound like they're not really interested in doing that. And I hope so. Just make Venom stuff. Please. I think the second movie will really show that. You know, in a sense of like, sorry. I think the second movie will prove that Venomverse is possible. If it ends up being a really, really bad movie, then they will put Spider-Man into it. But if people enjoy this movie, with just him and Carnage and Shriek and maybe a few others, who knows, then I think people will be more inclined into just wanting a Venomverse. I think that's what it's going to come down to. This movie is going to come down to it. If we have just a Venomverse or he joins up with Spider-Man. Again, if it doesn't do well, he will join up with Spider-Man. But I guess we'll see. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you want him in the MCU? If so, why? Seriously, why? Alright guys, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon. And this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.